Welcome back to Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. We are Philip,
Abby,
Blake, Ethan,
also known as Dungeon Master,
Avis Merlot,
Devon Merlot,
Neil.
On the last episodes, Avis, Devon, and Neil were moved into the future. Devon and Neil into a future that was bright and comfortable and convenient and on the surface level, very good. Avis to a future that was dark and dangerous and had the vibe of post-apocalyptic. Devon and Neil tried to figure out what they could about the new world they were living in. They found out some useful information about the path the world had tread, about some temporal power wielded by the United, about the administrator or somebody who looked like the administrator, and about their future that they were living in. With no way to go back in time themselves, they decided the path was to go forward and try to find Avis wherever she landed. Devon got into a cryo sleep pod for an indefinite stay, where Neil would stay on the outside and try to make sure nothing went wrong, and that he would be there to wake Devon up if he ever saw Avis appear. Avis, in the further future, saw a run-down, abandoned city with some signs of life, like people surviving here. She met a helpful musician who worked at a local gathering spot, the Vice, who tried to help Avis come to terms with where she was and provide any sort of support she could about locating Devon, though she had never heard the name and didn't know who that was, and eventually sent Avis off to a place called the Old Icebox with the help of a local kid named Ollie. Avis and Ollie headed there, Avis being reminded a little bit of Milo by Ollie's behavior, but also seeing some curious behavior, nothing out of the ordinary though, until they were inside the icebox, where they were confronted by a person that turned Avis around, blade to her throat, until he finally recognized that, yes, it was the person he had been waiting for. Avis and Neil now stand face to face, Ollie off on the side, viewing the two people unmoving, having just greeted each other for the first time in a few hours and the first time in over 100 years.
Thank God I finally see someone who I know. You have to explain what's going on.
When did you arrive?
You said when did I arrive? A little more than an hour.
Me and Devon arrived over 100 years ago.
I turn a little bit and gesture towards the pod. I assume you can see Devon through the glass.
You guys walk a little down the hallway further and enter the room where Devon's pod was. You see all the other pods are empty, seeming like they've been long empty, but also they are broken open, their panels torn out, complex machinery and valuable electronics removed. The only one that stays standing against the wall is one with a frozen in place Devon. Peacefully, arms at his side, eyes closed, unmoving. A soft blue light from inside the pod illuminates him and glows out into the darkness. Attached to the cryo chamber is something that looks a little bit like a generator, but smaller, connected with independent wires that look like they were added on, as this thing is connected to some kind of fuel cell to keep it powered. And Avis, you see your husband frozen inside there. Oliver also follows you into the room, but the kid just stands back, understanding that there's a lot going on right now.
I walk up to it and touch the glass, and I say, "Oh my God, Devon, I need to talk to him."
What happened to the sightseeing trip?
Well, okay. What is she gonna feel in that
Actually, she's
moment?
I know.
Come up with a reason that we can't open it up so we can go.
I got you.
Actually, we have to go on a trip to go find one last part for the
Yeah.
Was that an extra episode?
It's guess
to
what.
this
the
podcast?
handle.
Yes, but-
The handle is broken. We need to go find one.
The handle.
You can't get in there.
Yeah. It's just like, flush glass on glass. I can't,
Mhm.
We didn't know how long it would take for you to arrive, or really if you'd arrive at all. We weren't sure if we could just wait. So Devon went into this about 106 years ago. He asked me to wait so that somebody could wake him up once you showed up.
I assume I know how to open it up because I've been doing like so much technician stuff, fixing up the pod.
Part of your research into your own machinery was also spent in the later years learning how to keep this thing on and active. You had come to the determination on your own that it would be prudent to keep Devon in his cryo sleep after things got bad here. It's easier to keep a fire burning than it is to start a fire if you don't have the proper tools. You can keep this thing powered on and it would keep him under. If you took him out, there'd be no guarantee that you could put him back under if Avis didn't show up soon. You believe that all you need to do is simply power it down and open the door.
So Neil reaches over towards like the controls and the keypad and such, but then he hesitates and he turns to Avis and he goes,
I don't know if this technology was designed to last this long. It's possible Devon won't be the same as when he went in.
I don't know if any of us are going to be the same after this.
that's a trailer line. All right.
You're welcome.
Neil enters whatever sequence of instructions he needs to get the pod to start its like opening sequence.
Oh no, it fails.
Oh no!
We need the password. The
Door
password that
jam.
only one guy knows. It
At
lives
the Vice.
yeah.
He's at the Vice right now.
In order to get the password, you guys have to have the best night of your lives at the Vice. No,
And Devon can't be there, and it's no one's fault.
And it's nobody's fault.
I hand the harpoon to Avis. I don't want to set it down. This place is still pretty dangerous. And then I open up the pod.
Avis, he hands the spear to you, and I think you see the dexterity with which he handles it, and you saw him like turn you around and put it to your throat before he fully recognized who you were, and you wonder like how good he's gotten with using this weapon. Neil, you disconnect the fuel cell, you pick it up and sling it over your back to attach it to yourself, because this is also something that powers you, or can power you if you need it. And you go to open the door to the cryo chamber. It slides open with a hiss after the light turns off and you hear the machine whirs down and falls silent for the first time in over a century. Over the course of a couple minutes, your skin warms, Devon, and you slowly start to open your eyes. You feel weak. This was animated suspension. It wasn't sleep, so it should have frozen your muscles in place and stopped them from atrophying. But you stayed under longer than anyone ever had before. You feel like your heart was pounding while you were falling asleep and before you were frozen, and it aches like it never got a second of rest in that time, like it was mid-panic. Your chest hurts, you feel weak, and you stumble out of the pod and almost fall to the ground.
But I'll catch him from falling.
I also go help to catch Devon.
You guys prop him up, putting in one of his arms around each of your shoulders. And Devon, you start to understand where you are. As your eyes blink, you see you're in a dark room. Now that that light is off, there's only a little bit of light diffusing. You're in a cold, dark room during the deep night of winter. There is shattered glass and debris on the floor. All the pods that you saw in this room that was once lit and nice and neat are broken and destroyed. You see a stranger across the room from you, some kid that you don't know, but supporting you on either side is your wife, Avis, and your coworker, Neil. Neil looks like he's gone through a lot. He's wearing lots of coats. He's got a hood that he can pull up to conceal his head. And I think you can see through those coats. Avis, you notice this as well. The cooling vent on his chest where the fan intakes air to cool off his processors looks like it's got something covering it. It looks like there's a low red, like fungus, moss growing out and over the vent. It looks like it goes inside as well.
Oh my god. Avis. Devon's gonna try to take his arm like away from Neil and try to go in for a hug with Avis and probably like fall down to his knees in the process.
Well, I'll go down with him. So he's going down.
You both kind of crumple to the ground on your knees and hold each other. Avis, it's only been a little under 2 hours since you've seen him, and still, you both have traveled hundreds of years into the future.
I didn't know if I was ever gonna wake up or if you were ever gonna... I missed you.
I'm here now.
It's gonna kind of take a moment and then, not backing away from the hug, but kind of turning my head to Neil, go, how long has it been?
It's been 106 years.
Devon, you are now a 140-something-year-old man. You are feeling your body come to a little bit more. The first thing you notice, and the primary thing you notice, you're the thirstiest you've ever been in your entire life. You are so parched right now.
I know exactly what that feels like. Being in the hospital, not allowed to drink anything, and then waking up in the middle of the night and there's literally zero moisture in your mouth. It's crazy. Can I get something to drink?
Oh, yes. Give me a second.
Neil like walks to like a different corner of the room and he like picks up this like kind of debris up out of the way. He's like hidden in like a little ditch in the ground in the room here. 2 pretty big like hiking packs and like a big duffel bag. They're all full of like some non-perishable food and some water skins, random gear that they might need, because he didn't really know what to prep or even what the plan would be once Avis got here.
As you move the debris out of the way, all of you hear a new sound from down the hallway, a different room, and moving this direction. You hear the meow of a cat. Meow. Neil, Circuit, bounds to your feet.
Yeah, Neil reaches down and gives Circuit like a little absent-minded scritching, and then like just brings those over to you guys.
Okay. There's a lot going on here, especially with this cute kitty cat. But can someone explain why we went to the future?
Well, Neil, I guess, did you figure anything else out?
I still don't really know. It's been hard to do research, even while there were still resources available. The last 40 years or so, things have really fallen apart.
So then, I guess your guess is as good as mine.
Well, can you tell us about those 40 years?
There were rebellions on the mainland. There's not really a United anymore. We're sort of left to fend for ourselves. Most of the cities are like this,
And he gestures around to like the rubble and the lack of power and stuff.
It's rough living, but I suppose I've gotten used to it.
Oh, and guys, by the way, this is Oliver. He brought me here.
Oliver, for the first time, steps forward and said, I didn't want to interrupt, but hi. I brought Miss Avis here, and I thought I could stick around. I didn't have anything else to do. It seems like there's kind of a lot going on, actually, though. You see he's looking especially curiously at Neil.
Hello there, Oliver. I take no issue with you being here if Avis doesn't.
I do not. I quite like him. He's very helpful.
You see Oliver smiles and like tries to hide it, but he's smiling.
Neil doesn't have like an issue with Oliver being here, but you can tell like he's kind of blown his stash now. He's hoping some kind of plan will be worked out because he feels like things have been pretty stagnant without you two.
Well, now's a good time as any to sit and discuss the plan. Devon needs some time to recuperate anyways, to drink water, and to eat some food. Neil, though you've never needed to make one before for yourself, you can construct a little fire in the center of the room to chase out the chill in the air and provide some warmth, especially to Devon. And you all can sit and talk about what you could possibly do.
Neil, the people around here seem to call you the Hermit. Do you know how this came about? How do they even know you're here?
I didn't know they called me the Hermit, but I suppose it makes sense. I can't really let anyone in here. There are too many valuable components in these pods, even Devon's, and I couldn't risk something happening to him.
So, Neil, you never heard anything else about the time stuff that we had heard about?
I looked, but people were still cagey about it. Even the administrator that I tried to reason with or to talk to or even just to ask questions from, he eventually got tired of me and left town.
It's interesting to Avis to hear Neil mention the administrator, because you know he was in the room with you when you all got moved forward.
If you two came together, right, and I went somewhere else, I was also with my dad, but he didn't come with me. Any idea on what's going on with him?
We saw your dad, or at least someone who looked like him. He didn't remember you, or at least your name. He was a drunk, angry and volatile. Picked fights with us when we tried to talk to him. I don't know where he is now. Or actually, I assume he's dead. Been like 100 years.
A number of decades ago, back when times were still good, you had tried to get more out of him, and he kept getting more and more hostile until there was a big argument, and he left town, presumably to go to one of the other colonies to get away from you. He would absolutely refuse to give any information about how he was still alive, why he was acting strange. And so you were trying to parse all that out, and this guy would not give you an inch and would often try to attack you or claim you were attacking him if you went to talk to him until he up and left to get away from you. And that was decades ago. You haven't seen him since. I guess to your knowledge, he's probably dead, but it's unclear. He should have been dead when you showed up to the future.
Yeah.
I still don't really know what happened to the administrator. Only that he left many decades ago. I doubt he's still alive.
What about Milo? Have you seen him?
We don't know what happened to Milo. We didn't find a single reference to him.
When I first arrived, though, I did see a statue of the two of you, kind of broken up, but there was a sign in front that mentioned Milo.
Oh, I made that statue. Back when things were still easy, I tried my hand at some hobbies. And I still had Devon to look at as reference.
Didn't mention Avis in it, though.
This dude.
Didn't think about that, did you?
Didn't think about me.
Think about that. You're not my wife. It's not my job to think about you.
Well, someone's got to think of her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Somebody's got to do it, and it's not going to be me.
So, now what, Neil? Like, do you have an idea of where we go from here? You know the most about the current state of things, I guess.
A pretty significant portion of the research station is still standing. Most of it's been picked clean, but there are definitely rooms and especially vaults that are mechanically locked that I wasn't able to get into without risking some pretty long stretches being away from you, Devon.
And you think maybe we could find, I don't know, something about the research, the time research they were doing or something?
It's the only thing I can think of that would even have a chance of getting us back to our time. Although there are a lot of rumors from the old days about another government installation somewhere on the continent. Nobody seemed to know where, and I doubt anyone who worked there is still alive.
It's the red dot.
There is a red dot on this map from the Dungeon Master. We should check it out just in case. He might have left it in on accident.
Also, I'm certain there are like cool post-apocalyptic clothes for you guys in the backpacks so that you can
Oh my god.
You can get your Fallout on.
Packs like Hunger Games.
like Hunger Games are full of food and stuff.
Maybe we could find some like coordinates or something at the research station. They're both like government, right?
It's probably our strongest lead.
Do you think it'll be dangerous there?
There's a chance other scavengers will be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Oliver, I know you probably want to come, but it's probably not that safe for you.
Oliver is looking like he wants to say something, but is kind of like looking down and frowning and like thinking, trying to think about how he wants to try to work his way back in.
Oliver's not like you both. He's from here. I think he'll be all right. If you want to come.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I kind of want to stick with you guys. You're probably the nicest people I've met, and you seem really cool. And he points at you, Neil, and he says, Mr. Hermit, or what's your name and yours? And he points to Devon.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm Devon.
And I'm Neil.
I'll just stick with you guys if that's okay.
I think it'll be all right.
And I take the harpoon back from Avis.
If push comes to shove, we can defend ourselves.
I trust you, Neil. So, okay.
I take the duffel bag and I sling it around my shoulder. And I gesture for Circuit. Circuit hops up into the duffel bag. And I'm ready to go.
Hops up into the duffel bag with a meow and kind of reaches her head out to get a little scratch.
Little scratches.
Hey!
Good job.
Good job, Maple. Yes.
That was really authentic.
That's going to sound so realistic. Would you guys like to take a long rest before you start out on this lead, or would you like to go as soon as possible? I'll say, even though you should, as advertised for the cryopods, not have any ill effects, you were just down so long that you probably have one level of exhaustion, Devon.
I mean, I think we should probably rest. And who knows how long Neil has been in normal power mode, right?
If you all want to curl up around the warmth of the fire, it'll be easy enough for Neil to keep watch in low power mode. It's part of his design to be able to be aware of his surroundings and able to wake quickly. And after a few hours of sleep, you are all able to get up and head towards the station, Oliver in tow. As you're approaching the entrance to the station across town, walking through this desolate place with clear indications that there's still life happening elsewhere. You can hear the commotion from down the street as you pass the Vice a little bit in the distance. It seems like an actual active social hub for people who still live here. It's probably the most crowded building around. But there are also flickering lights of candles in some of the broken windows, a person here or there ducking around a corner or hiding from your view. You are walking through empty streets, sometimes feeling like you're being watched, and sometimes feeling in the quiet like you're the only people in the world. You approach this massive entrance to the station. It's a building that was built over and around the old structure. As you're walking in, everybody can make a perception check.
It's a 3.
21.
26.
Oh.
The building is just as bare and looted and scavenged and stripped of valuable resources, stripped of wires and machinery and computer parts and electronics as anywhere else. There's trash around some of the floors, broken glass. It smells like filth and rot. Devon, you are able to help Neil locate, with your knowledge of the former station and how things were laid out and the thinking they used in the design of the building, help him locate where these other places would be, these vaults and locked doors that he had heard about and seen a little about in his looting here. Avis, as you were all walking into the building, you heard a clink, a bottle or something being kicked a little distance away from you all in the mist and fog out of your sight, and you turn around on the stairs into the station and look out, unable to see anything, and wait for a second. You don't hear anything else, but you get the worried sense that there's a risk somebody else is around. There's a risk that they could hear or see you or even follow you. Besides that, as you all enter the building, you make it to this large door. What you believe, Devon and Neil, should be like an archive or something with information, is what it seems to be indicated as. A lot of the information here is destroyed from time spent in the elements in an uncontrolled environment with broken windows and collapsed ceilings and stuff. But there's a door that has failed closed. It's like the vault door of a safe, and would take Neil a good amount of time, like a few hours, to power up with a fuel cell, pulling wires out of the wall that connect to the door, and physically hack into it himself. One of the only reasons he hadn't already done so, because it would take so much time away from Devon. Neil, would you like to get started on that process?
Sure, yeah.
What check would you like to use for this? What do you think?
Can I just make like a tools check with proficiency?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a tools check.
It's an 18.
Sick.
On an 18, you should roll a d6.
1, 1, 1, 1.
1! Woo!
It only takes you 1 hour to open this door.
So good.
With a good amount of your skills learned over the years to repair and modify yourself to take care of the cryopods, you've learned quite a lot about the engineering work, especially with your base knowledge you had already with maintaining servers, and you are able to crack this door like cracking the vault of a safe open. And it click, 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 3 low thuds as the door opens just an inch, swinging on its hinge, and looks like it can be pulled all the way open.
Then I'll make sure the other 3 are ready, and I'll open it just a little bit.
You swing open the large metal door. This is probably something that might have been taken for scrap if it hadn't been so heavy and attached to a building in a way that, was meant to survive a natural disaster. You see inside is a stairwell that leads down. This was on like the first floor of the station, and it looks like there's a stairwell that leads underground. And you can see the stairs are lit. There's some kind of light coming from down the stairwell. It's a soft glow that filters up through the chamber and provides a little light here.
Did any of us know there was a basement?
No.
No.
There was not an archive during your time, Devis.
Oh, new ship name.
A new ship name. During your time, Devon or Avis. Neil, you wouldn't necessarily know if you hadn't gotten out of your server room, but they don't know this place. This is a part of the new building, the new structure.
What's the other ship name? Is it Nevin?
Oh,
Or is it
no.
Deal.
No.
It's Deal. It's Deal.
Deal.
But yeah, I'll be following Neil.
I'll lead the way.
Devon, you see that Oliver is looking a little scared into the chamber, and his feet are kind of like firmly planted, and he hasn't taken a step forward yet, and a kind of like a way that reminds you a little bit of Milo.
I kind of like hold up for a second while they like start going down the stairs, and I turn and like reach out my hand to Oliver, Come on, let's get going.
He takes your hand, and you all head through the doorway on the other side to the stairwell. Question for you all. Would you like to close the door? In order for it to be truly closed, you would have to power it down, in which case there's always a risk that if something went wrong or there was a malfunction that you would be stuck on the inside of a safe. If you didn't leave it closed and powered down, then it would be possible for somebody else, if they had followed you in, to open the door.
I say we can close it because Philip won't let anything bad happen to us.
Yeah, let's close it.
Yeah.
We closed the door, Philip. Proudly and with not a care in the world.
fully power it down.
Neil, you take the power cell, you disconnect it and close the door, and the locks, once again, in their non-powered state, extend into the frame to lock the safe. You guys descend multiple flights of stairs, walking down step after step a long time. These are graded metal stairs with a concrete silo-like stairwell that they're descending through, kind of a spiral, but that like boxy spiral that goes one landing to the next, walking flight after flight until you are deep, deep underground, like a bunker in a room, which looks kind of like a lobby. There's like a desk and it's like carpeted, like 70s aesthetic. The wall on the far side behind the desk is like a glass wall with a glass door. And you see the light that was filtering up through the stairwell is the lights on the ceiling down here. They're like floodlights, but they must be bioluminescence or something because they're still on even though there's not power here. It looks like it was a non-powered room. If you open the door, on the other side, there's also a glass wall and looks like what is a defunct, like clean room or something that clearly doesn't work anymore. And through that is a room of shelves and boxes. In the far corner, it looks like part of the ceiling has collapsed. Lots of boxes are buried under black dirt and chunks of rock that have fallen in and created a little pile up to that collapsed corner. It's also let in moisture that looks like it's damaging a lot of the stuff around it and has been for a long time. Other than that, there is still a lot of valuable information here and boxes full of stuff if each of you would like to make an investigation check. If you'll commit to spending more time here, then you can each make it with advantage.
What do we want to do?
Why would we not do that?
We closed the door, so we're chill.
Yeah,
now.
we closed
That's
the door.
true. Investigation?
Yep.
Okay.
I got a 15.
I got a 14.
30-20.
Ooh.
30-20. I'll ask you guys what you're looking for. As you start to open boxes, there's a wide array of information available. There's like documents about construction, planning, communications, payroll, intelligence, research. You're seeing a lot of different avenues to explore, but it translates into things you know about and are wondering about that you could care to look for. I'll say also, as you're opening boxes, there is some valuable resources in here, like full hard drives that were kept here in storage, or complex devices, things that are prototypes or things. Neil, at the very least, without making that the thing you're looking for, you're seeing there's like a treasures hoard of stuff that could be taken to the shipper, and it could get you quite a lot. As you're opening boxes and seeing a bunch of information, what's at the forefront of your mind?
I'm trying to find some kind of like summary report that somebody made to like explain the history of this technology and its development. Like, I want to know what was happening while like in our time, and then like since like how things got from there to like the timers and stuff like that.
What you're reading is information in between the lines. It seems like a lot of this actual valuable information is wherever this mentioned and referenced secret research base is. It seems like that's the thing that Administrator Merlot was talking about, some secret project that he wasn't at liberty to say. It looked like it was just getting started around your time. More valuable information would be there. There was something discovered underneath the Antarctic. They were alerted to it somehow. A black box technology. Like, they don't understand how what was happening. They weren't controlling it. It was being controlled somehow else. They were just powering and using it to create devices that could move people through time, but not in like a classical sense, like literally just weapons. Through a lot of imperial research, that's the only thing they could make work or figure out. Like, they couldn't make a time machine, but they could make a machine that used time. How timers actually work, what resource it's using, or how they get the resource or anything, seems like that would be information that was only kept at the research base, highly classified, not even risking having it be in a place where unauthorized people were, like New Ronne, having it be in a place that is only like Area 51.
But the implication is like at that place, there's straight up like schematics and stuff like that, and like instructions.
In the time that the United was operating, that's where that stuff would have been kept.
Okay.
Everything is bad now, and you don't know what happened over there. You don't know what life is like or how things went down, but that's where that stuff would have been. It simply wouldn't be here. But there are like communications back and forth and references to stuff that you're getting all this implication and kind of putting two and two together about.
Devon is kind of going first for any like non-revisionist history, because kind of the last thing he remembered doing was just going to the library and finding all of this stuff that was clearly faked or censored and all of that, just trying to make sense of how the world has changed.
On a 14, you are finding that some of the information that would have given more details is part of the stuff that was destroyed by moisture and water being let in here. Even though these boxes should have been sealed tight, there are just cracks having formed. There are tops that have popped open from decompression, lots of stuff. But you do discover quite a bit. You are trying to look into what was being taken out, what was being hidden from view, and it actually has more than a little to do with Milo and yourself and Avis. You suspected it from how that research you were doing in the library looked, but it looks like you are in a future in which you and Avis existed and lived out your lives, not like you were taken away and are in an alternate reality. You're in a future that you made. This revisionist history was having to do with things not being well at the colonies. There was an not necessarily like independence movement for the sake of independence, but for the sake of rebelling against the United as things became worse and worse, and research got leaked that there were tampering with time and creating blatantly evil devices. There was a group of people that thought that they should throw off the control of the United from this place to remove access to whatever resources they were getting or research was being done and try to defend against it. You find records and news articles that were later scrubbed from history to do with the 37 individuals who led this and all of their executions when they failed because they couldn't rally enough support of people standing up to the United and fighting them off. They failed in their movement and they were put to death. One of those people was Milo. There is very little information in the news article. You see a mugshot of a Milo that looks like an older young adult, like late 20s, early 30s, a time when you know that if you're in a history where you both survived, the two of you naturally would have been alive at that point. Neither of you are part of the 37. When it talks about his trial, there is a picture of witnesses and people testifying against Milo, and one of those pictures is a much older, very serious looking picture of the administrator, Avis's father, testifying against Milo.
That whore.
You don't see anything about the two of you testifying in his favor, coming to his defense or anything. You're not one of the 37. You don't see reference to you. Attached to Milo's file is a little baggie that kind of looks like an evidence baggie or something, or personal belongings, but it's very scant. Inside is a pendant that has a picture of each of you in it, a little gold locket pendant, and a family photo of you and Avis and him when he was young. It's been altered, though, by somebody. In kind of the vibe of like a hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil way. Devon, your ears and mouth in the picture are scratched out, and Avis's eyes are scratched over. And so you see this history that was being covered up about revolt and rebellion against the United and things being bad and them doing bad things and trying to make it seem like everything had always been good and right and just and that life was good in the colonies. That's what was being hidden. And you also learn about Milo's fate like that. And it's not said directly, but there has to be some implication there about what the administrator, the weird administrator, the person who looked like the administrator once you had gone to the future, said to you. Something about not liking people who throw their kids in the dirt.
Or shame. Neil would never.
Oh my god.
Neil is probably number 38, but they didn't include him. He's not a person.
I think Neil was probably scrapped by then.
I agree. I don't
What?
think you're there.
He would have gotten a great performance review and continued to have been a valuable member of the base.
Hate to break it to you, but
Devon, that's kind of hanging heavy on your heart as you're confronting what you had done, this version of you. You swear that wouldn't be your reaction, but when the chips are down and it's time to put up, who knows what your actions were. Avis, what are you looking for in all this information, in all these boxes?
I'm trying to figure out where the research base is.
Simple, straightforward. You got a 21, right?
20.
20. You don't find coordinates. What you find are like flight logs from cargo ships about their manifests and certain cargo ships that while they were going around to the different colonies, to New Ronne, to Weddell, to Meltport, to the Amory Coast, to Kennedy, and to Cape Roosevelt, their path making an inefficient detour, a wider route, and multiple times those overlap, and you can triangulate and point out a point on the map where all of those things meet. You have a location where you think this secret research base is. It is far away. The continent is the size of a continent. It's not a small island, right? As far as you know and have seen in your time here, Devon and Avis, and Neil, you would know, there aren't like land traversing vehicles that are still operational. Most of them were stripped for parts long ago by people that were more desperate for immediate resources than they were for the possibility of functionality. So if you only have your two legs underneath you walking on a journey to this research base, it would probably take a number of months, like just routing yourselves as much as you can along the ocean to do some fishing so you don't have to carry so many resources, and then going down through Kennedy and around to where this research base is would probably take like 3 or 4 months.
So we need to take our two legs and walk onto a ship.
yeah, we gotta get a blimp.
No, the ship, like the shipper.
Oh.
At the very least, it would look like you would need way more supplies than you have right now, more than Neil had gathered. If you needed a long journey or needed to find a way to avoid the long journey, it would probably take communicating with the shipper. But the good news is all these hard drives and like computer parts and mechanical parts, Neil, you know you could trade for quite a bit. Like you could get quite a lot from the shipper for all of this stuff. This is a payout. This is a haul of goods. Oliver is standing at the door, kind of nervously keeping watch to make sure there's no sounds above from the vault or anything, but you can all communicate this information to each other, what you've found, and have any discussion you want before moving on.
Devon, for now, is just going to kind of take some of the information he's found, like Milo's file and stuff, and just put it in his backpack and not bring it up yet. I think we need to focus on other things right now.
Okay.
I think I know where the research base is.
I'll say Neil, as Avis points out on a map that you have now from these files, you can see where the research base is and all the distance away it is. It would require traveling a lot of ground in between the colonies where you know there is danger, and you haven't told Devon and Avis about that part yet.
I'm sure that's where we're going to find more details on this time research, but traveling these long distances over land, especially outside the cities, it's dangerous.
Ethan, do you remember the danger? The corrupt?
Oh yeah. There's monsters.
D&D.
He's doing D&D.
Overland travel with encounters with monsters.
no.
Wow.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm so unoriginal.
Sorry, I forgot about the corrupt.
There are these strange creatures, the corrupt. No one really knows what they are, but they're dangerous and they do attack people.
Is there another way?
We could try to find a way to go by water.
I was told about a shipper who's coming here in a few days.
We could ask the shipper, but they demand an awfully high price. We'll have to grab a bunch of this stuff here and barter for passage to where the base is.
It's not like we have another option, right?
Would you guys like to bring all the stuff to the top of the stairs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll take maybe an hour or two. I mean, it was quite a long way down, and there is more than even the four of you with Oliver's help can get in one trip. If you constructed some kind of like sling or way for Neil to carry more, he's quite strong as a robot, and you could probably get it all down to the shipper with the four of you, but that would take a little bit of work to do. As you bring these boxes of electrical components and things that would get you some good gear or a ticket onto the boat to the top of the stairs, you all are done with this place and can leave if you'd like. There are a couple days between now and when the shipper would arrive. Neil, you would know his schedule is variable, so you think he should be here in about 2 days, but you know him to be quite an asshole. You deal with him because you have to deal with him to get powered fuel cells to keep yourself alive and to have kept Devon alive. You have a relationship with him, but you're not friends.
They're like
They're
enemies to
enemies
lovers.
to lovers.
Lovers?
Enemies to lovers. As you power open the vault door, you hear the click, click, click again as the bolts slide back, and you can push open the door to leave.
Let's do that.
Neil, are you walking out first?
Yes.
Of course.
Neil, you swing the door open, pushing and heaving this large metal door, and as soon as it opens about a foot with your strained effort, you feel yourself get cracked in the side of the head with a baseball bat, and you start falling backwards towards the stairs. And that's all for this episode of Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. If you want to keep up with the show, you can follow us on our Instagram or TikTok at Fire and Smoke Podcast. If you're enjoying the show so far, please leave us a nice review on whatever application you are using to listen to it. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
We should have had Oliver also look for stuff.
Yeah.
We should have had Oliver go out the door first.
Oh, then
They wouldn't have hit him.
They wouldn't have hit him. They wouldn't have hit
No.
a kid. People are so nice to kids, even in the post-apocalypse future.
That's how he's still alive.
Philip's
without any
nodding
parents.
his head yes.
No, or else he'd be dead.
Some people are nice to Oliver.
So far, it's like
I don't think the Venn diagram
majority.
of those people and the people who are like waiting outside to ambush you with a baseball bat to the head, I don't think those overlap. Thoughts?
I really think we would have been part of the rebellion. You're railroading us.
I would never be a conservative parent.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe we just didn't know.
Maybe you're just bad parents.
We didn't know.
No,
everything that
I
was
would
going
never.
It's possible.
I would never.
That gut reaction, though, that I would never, is like something that Avis probably feels, but you're seeing that it did happen. And so
Yeah.
you have to like confront, like,
Myself.
oh, shoot, I have to confront that.
Yeah.
That reaction that, like, I would never, but clearly when the chips are down.
Now the chips are down.
on. He's doing Hades style.
He's doing Hades style.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Is there anything we're forgetting about?
Was Eric supposed to play Oliver? Why is he not here?
No. Eric's got his own character. He was busy today. He said he was busy doing his taxes. He wanted to get a really early start on those.
Tax season just ended.
Yeah, he
Don't
said he
say
wanted to get a
that.
really early season.
Don't say that. I haven't done mine.
He wanted to get a really early start on next tax season. He was just kind of like caught up doing that. He couldn't make it today.
He doesn't know how much money he made.
No, I'm sure he'll be here next
He's
time.
still making the money.
It's okay. He'll figure it out. He'll get that all sorted away and he'll make it for next session. Anyways,
Slay
Maple.